Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. Today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about the importance of being well-rounded in our training and our fitness goals. But if you guys would, please click like down below. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so. And if you'll be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. You know, I'm saying this as someone who's come from a different varied background. Obviously, I originally got in shape in my early 20s, 20-ish, whatever, by running, right? I was over 300 pounds. I took up running. I had done some other stuff previously when younger, you know, a little bit of lifting, some martial arts, other stuff like that, right? But I was never a serious fitness person. I got really overweight, got in shape. I started by running, then discovered lifting. And then I got into powerlifting and all these other things. And at 48, having been putting out content full-time for 13 years, you know, I've come around to this idea, the longer I've done this, that it's really important for all of us to be really well-rounded. You know, if we truly want to be fit. In other words, looking back at the old school physical culture people, they were extremely well-rounded. They all had great physiques. Now I'm working on getting my physique better. Obviously I'm cutting, I'm getting leaner. I'm going to continue to improve that, you know, instead of kind of the heavier powerlifting look I've had. But in fact, I even recently started taking up jogging again. But, you know, something I want to point out, people get too single-minded in their goals. They're like, I just want a good physique, or I just care about hypertrophy, I just care about strength, I just care about whatever this sport is. And here's what I'm going to say. That's not fitness, okay? That's competitive bodybuilding, that's competitive powerlifting, that's competitive martial arts, okay? That isn't fitness. You're not fit. If we are fit, we should be strong, we should be lean, we should be athletic, we should be conditioned, and our blood work should be pretty. We should be healthy, okay? And so this is kind of what I remind people of. With these things, if we're going to really be well-rounded, it needs to be holistic. And obviously, we could get into the whole aspects of mental health and spiritual health and everything too, but that's a whole separate topic. Right, man, that's kind of going to the next level. But doesn't it feed into that? In other words, if your body is really healthy and you're disciplined from it and you're eating a good diet, doesn't that affect your mental health? Does that affect your spiritual health? I think that it does. Okay? But we'll get into that maybe as its own topic, right? But I will make that brief note. If you're abstaining from alcohol and recreational drugs to improve your fitness, and you're eating a really healthy diet that improves your gut health, which affects your mental health, and you're disciplined, is that not going to improve both your mental and spiritual fitness as well? I think that it will. I think it will affect them tremendously. But let's come over to the training. So, you know, when I get people who are like, I don't want to lift heavy. Well, why not? I'm just saying, you guys are watching me do stuff like right there, a nice long pause bench with 335 for like a 3-second pause, flat back at age 48. Why don't you want to lift heavy? You're not going to get hurt if you're smart about it. I don't get hurt doing it. Be intelligent in your approach. Lift heavy. It is important. Force production. Okay, that is a big part of athleticism. It's a massive part of it. You know, and so the people who are like, oh, I'm not trying to be strong. Yeah, you should be strong. Are you fit? If you're fit, then you should be able to grab a move, a heavy weight. You should be able to walk over and deadlift a pretty respectable weight pretty easily if you're fit. Okay. Hypertrophy, athleticism. You need to be doing your rep work. You need your volume. Okay. Do some weighted dips. Do some weighted pull-ups. All right. Hypertrophy work. We need to be doing training volume. We need to be gaining muscle. Gaining muscle itself is beneficial to all these other health outcomes. It's beneficial to your strength. It's beneficial to your blood work. It's beneficial to your endurance with your cardio. And really, here's what I'm really big on. People are going to notice you see me doing a lot of squatting. You see me doing a lot of weighted body weight exercises. Yeah, those are going to make you more athletic. Not only do they make you bigger, you're going to gain muscle. You're going to be more athletic. And anyone who says, oh, you want really? Show me someone who can squat a really heavy weight, who's real strong on weighted dips and weighted pull-ups, who isn't jacked. Come on. Just stop. They don't exist. they're going to be jacked. So you're going to gain muscle. Same thing though. So again, these other people, power lifters and other people who are stronger, you can't move your body through space. Don't tell me you're an athlete. Just stop. You need to be doing this stuff. All right. How about conditioning? How about explosive training? You're not doing any speed work. You're not doing any jumping, any throwing. You guys are watching me all the time. Again, doing box jump, plyometrics. All right. We need to be explosive. It's part of being fit. Part of being fit, part of being athletic. So let's come over to those points. You can't move your body through space and you can't jump. You're not fit. Conditioning, all right? You guys see me do lots of lifts. Lifts is good for endurance, good for nutrient partitioning. I do a lot of it. Do plenty of it. I blog all of it, all right? What about other stuff? How about real GPP, getting out and doing a sled? You guys see me pushing and pulling the sled, right? That's real conditioning. Don't talk to me about sprinting. You sprint with that sled. Let's get conditioned. And that builds muscle. Let's come over to building muscle. Sled work absolutely gives you jack legs and jack lower body. All right. Can you guys do weighted carries? Do you do sled work? Like, where's your real GPP, your general physical preparedness? This is part of being fit, part of being athletic. Don't tell me you're fit if you're not capable of it. How about some running? Man, I'm making this video right after I just started adding some running, and I've been saying for a while, I know I need to run. So I didn't want to make this video until I finished my first run. This will go through in the feed a couple times. I remix these for later uploads too. Keeps the content flowing. I used to be an avid runner. Again, you can't jog, you can't run at all. Don't tell me you're fit. Okay? And then let's talk health and blood work. People eating junk food. How many people over here, I work these protein cookies and these protein candy bars, protein ice cream, and I'm lean. It's like, you're eating garbage. You're promoting eating garbage. You're not improving your blood work, not improving your inflammation. You're eating junk food, don't tell me you're fit. You're working garbage into your macros and you're not eating mostly whole foods and getting tons of vegetables. In other words, if your diet isn't complete without needing a vitamin, I'm not saying a multivitamin can't be a good insurance policy to add in. I do it a lot of times. But if you are not sufficient on your diet, or you're eating refined sugars and garbage and butter, don't eat this stuff and tell me you're fit. You're not. In the long term, your blood work and inflammatory markers are going to reflect it. If you're fit, you're going to eat clean. All right, this is what we mean by well-rounded fitness. Get fit, people. Get fit. And that means you need to be well-rounded in all these aspects.